With all the strengths of the iconic F-7C Hornet and with a lower signature than its stealth fighter counterpart, the Sabre, the Anvil Hornet Ghost is currently Star Citizen's supreme stealth fighter ship that you never saw coming. Since the ship's stealthy abilities were brought to my attention, I've been exploring its capabilities and with it, a whole new way to enjoy ship-based combat that I'm going to share with you in this video. I bought the Hornet Ghost and I wanted to use it for hunting unsuspecting ships in PvP and player bounties. But first I needed to learn more about stealth and how I could best use it to my advantage to avoid problems like this.
Back out, run, Erstang, they're on us!
Legendary fighter pilot Aria Riley once said, "Give me a fully loaded Hornet, and I'll shake the gates of heaven."
So what currently makes the Hornet Ghost so good? The Anvil Hornet itself is one of the most iconic ships in Star Citizen's history, but despite its iconic status in Star Citizen lore and the UEE fleet, for the majority of Star Citizen's lifetime, this ship has been pretty much unused due to balance and development neglect. In 2023, however, we saw a rise in its popularity among the dogfighting community, thanks to unintentional adjustments to its propulsion, giving it the ability to pull crazy 4Gs that some pilots would call
unnatural.
While the developers have confirmed the buffs to the Hornet's acceleration will be tweaked at some point, it's been months and the ship's capabilities still remain. Combine this unnatural acceleration with its weapon hardpoint versatility, damage output and rotational speeds, and you have a pretty scary medium fighter. But give it a stealth bonus, a passive emission signature reduction of 40% across the board, essentially the ability to go invisible with almost no drawbacks, well, now you've got a nightmare. So after accepting a player bounty, how do I get close without being seen? Your ship radar is a component like any other with a small set of stats. This is currently hidden from you in-game, but thanks to data miners, we can see this information on sites like tanksaw.org or spviewer.eu, which I will link below. One of the stats associated with your radar is sensitivity, followed by a percentage. This percentage represents your ship's sensitivity to passively detecting a ship's emissions in order for it to appear on your radar. The lower a ship's radar sensitivity percentage, the worse your detection range is and the closer an enemy ship can be before it is passively detected. There are three main emission types: infrared, cross-section, and electromagnetic, and whichever of these emissions is highest will dictate how detectable you are. For example, a size 1 radar found inside a Gladius and many light to medium fighters has a sensitivity value of 80%. This means you'd be able to passively detect a Hornet Ghost at 80% of its highest emissions value. But how does that translate to the distance at which the ship can be detected? Currently, in order to know the distance, you simply convert the target's highest emissions into meters on a 1-to-1 ratio. So if I was flying my Hornet Ghost and my highest emissions value was my EM emissions at a value of 10,000, your Gladius with its size 1 radar and 80% sensitivity would detect me at 8,000 meters, 80% of 10,000. A size 2 radar, which is slightly more powerful, with a sensitivity value of 90%, would detect me at, you guessed it, 9,000 meters. The cross-section emission behaves differently as this value changes based on your ship's angle of approach. Your ship has a maximum cross-section value based on its shape and size, and the value displayed in your HUD emission is its maximum value, or your ship's largest cross-section. A Hornet's largest cross-section is its top side angle. If a ship is pointing at you from the top, it will detect you at your maximum cross-section emission range. In our case, 3700 CS before applying the radar modifier. What the hell is Zinj doing out here? I've been following him for ages. I can't even make another jump if he makes a big jump. I was playing off stream and the bounty I'd taken was actually a member of my community who had no idea he was being hunted, but I'd been following him around Stanton for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and at this point, I was pretty committed. So how do you lower your IR and EM signatures to get as close as possible? EM emissions are lowered by reducing ship activity and disabling electrical systems, such as weapons and shields. In my case, I approach with weapons and shields disabled until it's time to engage. Infrared is heat and is currently affected in a minor way by weapons activity. You can decrease IR by suppressing overall IR or suppressing individual systems in the heat screen. Through my testing, IR doesn't seem to have much relevance currently, and suppressing IR didn't present many drawbacks, with EM management taking priority. Stealth is still very much in flux. You can expect things like this to change from patch to patch. On that note, with the standardization of ship components, you don't need to use special stealth components to be stealthy, which usually come with their own drawbacks. So running a Ghost Hornet with standard meta components, I'll link my build below, comes with no downsides, while enjoying a 40% signature reduction across the board due to the Hornet Ghost's passive stealth stats. This is what makes the Ghost so overpowered currently. I'm using a ballistic build because it's fun and forces me to be precise, and for some targets will destroy them quicker than an energy-based loadout. All things considered, with the player's reaction time factored in, once you're detectable in the 2 to 2.5 click range, assuming you're approaching your target, you can practically be within weapons range before they even realize what's going on, and by then, it can all be too late. With the ship's soft depth and the target being someone I knew, I decided against finishing him off completely and went to rescue him later from his fate on Microtech.
See, part of me was like, somebody's locked me, but it can't be him on the ground because his ship's only just gone blue. Maybe there's somebody about, and I looked up just as a blue thing appeared. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's scary, and these are quite popular now. More and more people flying them. Stealth is by no means in a great state and will no doubt change over the coming months, but it's been pretty sweet having stealth fighters back in patch 3.22. If you enjoyed the content or got something out of the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more Star Citizen related content. Thank you as always to my meaty members who support me through Fourth Wall, which is like Patreon on steroids, where you too can become a meaty member subscriber or pick up some sweet merch. See you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching.